members of the State Senate and Assembly, men and women of law enforcement and the Attorney General's office, honored guests, family, and friends. I simply want to say thank you. Thank you all. I am deeply humbled by the trust you have placed in me. And I will never forget that it is you, the people of the state of California, whom I serve. I've been asked many times over the last month, what does your election mean? Here's what I think it means. It means every Californian matters. No matter who you are or where you're from, young, old, rich, poor, gay, straight, north, south, whether you've lost a loved one to violence, whether your community is being held hostage by gangs, whether you've been shut out by mortgage fraud or scammed by online predators, whether your neighborhood is downstream or downwind from corporate pollution. Today, with this oath, we affirm the principle that every Californian matters. And it's important to remember our history. This wasn't always the case. We didn't always have Lady Justice balancing the scales with her blindfold and sword. In the early days of common law, there was no public prosecutor. People had to fend for themselves. Lone individuals were forced to press charges and present cases on their own, often compelled to weigh the balance of a family's livelihood against the immediate moral necessity of justice. It goes without saying, this was an especially oppressive system for everyday working people. A system that ultimately and tragically led many victims to seek justice outside the law. So I believe we should be especially proud as Americans that the office of the public prosecutor was one of the first legal innovations that emerged in the United States. To be sure, it is one of the most profound innovations in the entire history of the rule of law. And it was based on a rather revolutionary notion that a crime against any one of us is a crime against all of us. Many times I've looked into the eyes of a crime victim and repeated this promise. It's not you alone versus the defendant. It's the people of the state of California. Now, I grew up with a very personal understanding of the meaning of this promise. I am particularly proud to have started my career as a prosecutor in the Alameda County District Attorney's Office.